Ma'am, I have a question. Are you permitted to ask the ethnicity of individuals afforded by the Constitution of the United States? Are you permitted to ask the ethnicity, and by what authority do you derive that personal, private, sensitive information to, by what authority are you claiming besides Title 13, which contradicts the Constitution of the United States? Do you have because I called the Census Bureau, and basically the Census Bureau couldn't give me an answer because everything is compartmentalized. And I was just curious because the census worker came over to my house one time. The second time I told them the authority by the Constitution, because it says that, without any apparent authority, I got this from another website, but it says, without any apparent authority, the U.S. Census Bureau has expanded its information gathering activities in addition to the once in every 10-year census afforded by the Constitution. The Census Bureau conducts more in-depth surveys of 250,000 Americans every year of every month. It has no constitutional authority for that. In fact, the Bureau is violating the Fourth Amendment to the Bill of Rights by suggesting that Americans are obligated to provide any personal information whatsoever to the government. Isn't it true to say, because I wanted to answer the questions, but you guys couldn't answer any of my questions. For one, I was just curious. The Constitution authorizes government to count people, but it does not authorize the taking of private information of even names of individuals. From where does the Census Bureau derive authority to demand our private information? Can you answer that question?
We just give the information sheet to the people in regards to this, and you can go ahead and call the office if you need more information.
Ma'am, I did call the office, ma'am, and I was just curious. I'm not trying to, I just am for my own personal use. I called the office and they couldn't answer any of these questions. Then they passed me on to the higher authority, and the higher authority, that's a regional office manager over 60 people in this area, could not answer my questions. Is there any limit to the amount and type of private information that the Census Bureau may demand and collect, ma'am? Is there any limit? Do you know?
I unfortunately cannot answer any of those questions for you. I'm not permitted to do so.
Ma'am, do you realize that after, because of the economy crashing and them giving you a temporary job, it's only temporary, and then after this, they're, asking you getting you to ask people questions that violate the Constitution of the United States of America? Do you realize that you're a party to that? Do you realize that you're doing that? And I know you probably don't want to do that. I know that everybody needs money and a job, but do you realize that you're asking questions that are outside the scope of what the original intention of the Constitutional Census Bureau was afforded to do? Do you realize that?
I'm not able to answer any questions. You can go ahead and call the office.
I know, ma'am, but I know you're a person, like an individual. I know you have an opinion. Don't you have an opinion? Can you give us an opinion?
I cannot give any opinion about this at all.
Really? Did you take the census?
Yes, I did.
You took the census?
I actually forgot to take it, but I had someone also come to my house and I took it.
Ma'am, do you realize that the Bill of Rights and the U.S. Constitution forbid this?
Yeah, I do apologize.
It's for real, man. The only other time in history that this happened was in the Third Reich with Nazi Germany, where they went around to Jews asking where they lived and what ethnicity they were. And then I want to ask one more question. One more question, I'll leave you alone. Why does the Census Bureau's website say that you guys are GPSing people's locations? What is the purpose of GPSing? And I know that you have a training seminar where you GPS people's houses. Can you tell me where and why they GPS doors? It said on your website and other websites that you are GPSing all the exits and entrances of people's houses. Can you tell me why?
That's to make sure we count all the houses and that everyone gets counted.
But is there any other reason for that? Isn't that kind of odd, don't you think, being a Census Bureau worker?
I apologize, but I'm not able to help you at this time. You would have to call the office. I'm not authorized to give any information.
But ma'am, I mean, that's pretty wrong, isn't it?
I don't know. We're all in and out of here today.
Ma'am, I'm just curious. I just want to ask you a question just for personal uses. Is it possible that this could be, as an American, you're an American citizen, correct?
Yes, I am.
Wouldn't it be, good. Okay. Isn't it possible, though, that we could be party to something that's not really beneficial to our United States Constitution?
Like I said, I cannot answer any questions. If you like, I can give you the number to the office.
Do you have the regional manager's name and number, please?
Yes. Give me 1 second while I give that to you.
I just had one question before I fill out any information. You know, the Census Bureau claims that it maintains privacy of personal information. Are there any circumstances under which law enforcement or spy agencies can access Census Bureau information?
I don't know any of that. You can contact.
But even when I
Did you want to write down the number?
yeah, here's a pen. Here's a pencil.
I don't. Let me go ahead.
Do you have a piece of paper? And do you have that sheet? Can I look at that sheet really quick? The actual blank sheet that you have. You guys claim on this sheet right here. Let me videotape this. You guys, just
like
okay. Go ahead and hand me the sheet if that's okay. Ma'am, I'm just curious about these things because there's some strange things. Title 13 contradicts the Constitution of the United States and the Fourth Amendment, and it violates my rights. And I'm concerned that anybody that would be a party to violating our United States constitutional rights, especially you being American, don't even know what you're doing. And that's the danger of not being educated and trained in what's going on today. Yeah, trained by the Census Bureau, but I'm saying like it says right here.
Like I said, unfortunately, I won't be able to assist you. You can go ahead and call that number listed there, and they can go ahead and answer your questions. Okay? I referred you to someone that would be able to.
Ma'am, do you have another sheet that you give out? Just explaining a little bit more.
Yes, definitely.
It says here that federal law protects, but by what means does it protect? And it also says on this sheet, ma'am,
I do apologize.
There's nothing else you can answer?
No, I cannot answer anything. Okay.
What's the name of the person that I'm to contact? Because you just gave me a number.
That's the number to the decennial people that can go ahead and help you with answering your questions.
Okay, so there's nothing else I can do about this issue but call them, and they already told, but I already called them. Is there anybody else, a different number that you have over this region?
I can give you my supervisor's name.
Yeah, that would be great. Here, just write the supervisor's name and number down in here, and I would like to contact them. Ma'am, this is crazy. I mean, it says you are required by law to provide the information requested under Title 13 here, but Title 13 is contradictory to the United States Constitution and the Fourth Amendment, and this is really, really strange. You can see why I have so many concerns, don't you?
Yes.
I mean, ma'am, I'm just saying you can see why I have so many concerns with this, right? I mean, wouldn't you have concerns with, there's two different laws going on here and you don't know which one to obey? You don't care about it?
I do, but I got my questions, or at least the ones I needed.
What about when I answered your questions and then you send somebody else back to answer more questions when I called and they said that they wouldn't stop sending people here? Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't.
Okay, ma'am.
There you go.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for everything that you've said. Okay. Okay, Josh, go ahead and film me. Okay, as you can see, most of the people are compartmentalized. Most people won't answer the questions. Everybody, it's like, everybody is so compartmentalized. They have a function and a duty, and they keep people dumb and stupid and blind to the bigger picture here that's going on. The bigger picture is the fact that the violation of our Fourth Amendment rights to the Constitution about searching and seizure for private information, private property, asking us questions that are outside the scope of the Constitution. And so you can see this is the common response, that when you question and ask good questions, nobody seems to know what's going on. And that's the way they like it, just playing stupid, that nobody knows what's going on. Meanwhile, you ask yourself, would you rather have a paycheck and to be a beggar and a serf and go along with this system, or would you, as an American citizen, be willing to stand up and do this little thing, just what I've done today, to confront and to deal with the violation based on principle? And the common question is, well, if you've got nothing to hide, why don't you just give them your information? Well, I've got nothing to hide, but the reason I don't give them my information, besides what's afforded by the Constitution, which is the number of people in my house, the reason I don't is based on principle. If nobody else stands up for the Constitution, then the Constitution is unanimated. It's just a piece of paper, like President Bush said. But if people stand up for the Fourth Amendment, and people stand up for the truth, and people stand up for what's right, we can change our country. Thank you.